This is not the podcast. It's just well, it's going to be the podcast in a second. I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer. We had some pretty beefy audio issues this week. Whenever Nathan, it's just me and Nathan this week, and whenever we would talk at the same time, even if it was just me finishing up a sentence and then him starting his, Nathan's audio would drop pretty dramatically to the point where it's almost impossible to hear what he's saying. You can basically make out what's going on between us, but there are a lot of times where you can't hear Nathan at all because I'm talking and he's trying to chime in, and it's just he's not getting through. I'm still gonna post it up because it's 2 hours of our lives. We're not gonna just throw it. I'm putting it up. You can understand what's happening, and Nathan talks a lot when I'm not talking, so it's not like you can never hear him. It's just it's not great. It's not ideal. We're going to figure it out next week. You'd think 8 episodes in, we'd know what we were doing, but we don't. So next week, hopefully it'll be better. That's it. Now here's the podcast. All right. It's episode 2 of the Randy and Nathan show. It happens. This is the Unidentified podcast, episode 8, aka the Randy and Nathan show, episode 2, because it's only Randy and Nathan again. Mm-hmm. Nathan's here.
Mm-hmm. I am indeed.
Randy's here. Elle and Adam are not. Adam may or may not be back next week. Mm-hmm. No idea if Elle's going to be here or not. Well, who knows? Either way, we're going to just, once again, it may or may not be a short one, but we're just going to talk about nonsense like we usually do. Nathan, you've got some nonsense. Specifically, you got some Dragon Age nonsense.
Yeah. I basically. I just realized I said basically a lot. I was listening to last week's podcast and I was like, well, basically.
Yeah, well, everybody's got their, people, I say, like, people say like. I just said, and like as I was using them as examples. I said, like.
Like, so.
Everyone has their verbal tick. Yeah. It's, like, whatever. No, whatever's not. No one says whatever. No, it's just in between words, just says whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So it was whatever, and whatever. No, but some people use swear words as their verbal tick.
Really?
Yeah, it's real bad. I can't.
Trying to goad you into saying a swear word.
Well, yeah, no, it won't work.
Randy's
I'm not I find it dirty. It makes me feel uncomfortable when I do it. Like when I see, I said like again. If you want to hear the use of like, go back and listen to Elle from a couple weeks ago. When she was going on her thing, she was going crazy with the likes. I mean, that's a girl thing. I see a lot of girls just use like more than anything else. And it's hard not to, because everyone does it now. In America anyway. It maybe basically is the Irish equivalent of like.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I know a lot of people say like, it depends where you're from. Like, there.
You can't not do it.
I just caught myself doing it as well. It's like,
I would rather transition to because like drives me nuts. Yeah, but yeah, that's annoying too. I don't know. Just learn. Sprinkle it in occasionally, but
Dragon Age.
When I'm in class or something and I'm listening to a girl say their thing and they're just going like, and it's like, but then like, and then he said like, and it was just, it's nuts. It is. But I don't know. What are you going to do about it? Dragon Age.
That was Dragon Age, yeah. It was just
that was a beautiful game.
Journey about linguistics.
It was like,
whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So you finished Dragon Age.
Yeah, I finished Dragon Age, and oh boy, what a doozy. It was a very, it just really ramped up.
Will there be spoilers?
Yes, obviously.
There's going to be spoilers for Dragon Age Origins for the next couple minutes. It won't be long. We're not going to stay too long on it.
Because, like, it's going to be like a quick ramp up.
You said like.
Oh, shush!
Once you notice it, you open it. You open the floodgates. It's a nightmare.
The illusion it's out there. Right. So I was playing Dragon Age. No, I'm not going to talk that slow, am I? Right, so I finished the game and I found that it was really, it just ramped up really quickly.
In what way?
The decision just kind of came to a head really, really fast. And I was like, whoa. Because it felt like there was like the first act, and then the middle act, and then the third act, as in the third Mac. The third Mac.
The third Mac?
Yeah. Return of
the Big Mac.
Could go on there right now. Anyways, sponsored by McDonald's. I wait.
I'm trying to cut back on some fast food. I've been having a lot the past few weeks.
Well, I just...
I wish we had this sponsored by McDonald's. Holy crap.
Sound bites out galore right there. Yeah. Anyways. So I was playing Burger King game. Do you know that one where you sneak around?
The Sneak King? Sneak King.
Jesus Christ. This is all over the place. Segueing.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Sneak King spoilers. It's a bad game.
So I made Alistair the Sneak King in Dragon Age, and I felt really bad about it. So
why?
He really didn't.
He doesn't want to be. I made him the king too.
And I kind of wanted to be like, okay, well, you can be the king in kind of the image, but what's the lady's name? I can't remember. He can marry the other lady. What was her? Do you remember it? Her name?
No. I am blanking on this woman in general, not even just her name.
She's a bit, she's really sour, I think, like really just...
Not a party member.
No, she's not a party member. She's just,
okay.
She was related to the
Loghain? Yeah. Is Loghain's daughter?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Okay, I don't know her name.
So yeah, you can ask Alistair to marry her, and they have like a formation, like a partnership kind of deal, where it's like, you know, once Alistair finishes the whole Darkspawn stuff, then she can be the kind of the ruler and tell him what to do. And I thought, yeah, that seems fair, because like Alistair, shut up, because Alistair seems to be a really good warrior, and she seems to be very fair-minded.
Mm-hmm.
So, spoilers, I had the fight with Loghain as Alistair, and then he killed Loghain, and then she said she's not going to marry him because he killed.
Okay.
I was like, but you wanted him out, so what's your beef, woman? You know, what do you want from me?
I also had Alistair kill Loghain.
I
Here's what I recall. I recall making him king, but also allowing him to come with me. So he was king in name, but he was still a Grey Warden. That's what I remember happening, but it won't allow me to do that in the Dragon Age Keep that I was telling you about last week. It won't. The option of having him be king, but also remain with the Warden, which was me, as a romantic interest, wasn't allowed. I don't know why it wouldn't let me do both of those, because that is what happened.
Well, I had him be a part of the quest, like alongside me. So, like, do you mean in the final battle, there's an option where he can come along, or what's the story?
Yeah, he came along with me.
Oh, okay. I remember. I thought you meant like there's an option where he actually can come.
Well, I was a romantic, or what I remember happening is I was a romantic interest to Alistair, and when he became king, apparently I wasn't allowed to do that, but I did anyway. Yeah. No, okay, I think I remember what happened. So I was romantic interest with Alistair, and then Alistair and my character both agreed that for the greater good, he would become king, and the relationship would be set aside. They would no longer be together. But then at the end, Alistair, who was along with me for the fight against the Archdemon or whatever it's called, is that his name? The main bit.
Which is a bitch of a
he couldn't get his feelings. He couldn't get past his feelings for me, which I thought was really interesting. He's like, I can't allow you to sacrifice yourself to kill the Archdemon. And without me even having the option, he took the sword from me or whatever and just killed it.
Right.
It was awesome. I thought like that was really cool. He sacrificed himself so I could live.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn, that is completely different to how mine panned.
So that's, what happened on you? Yes.
Okay.
What happened?
So, from what you said, your character is obviously a lady.
Yes.
Mine is a guy, specifically a man, elf dude.
Are you going to bring up the Morrigan thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the option was there for me, was to have Alistair do it. Alistair could lay with Morrigan to give birth.
Right.
I chose not to.
Yeah, so I was kind of like... a funny story, actually, because... So I did the whole thing where you come out of the room after it's revealed that like someone has to sacrifice himself to kill the Archdemon, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it just because it's a better story if the main character has to sacrifice himself in the end. So I left the room, and then Morgan was in my room, and she wanted to talk to me, and I was like, okay, cool. What do you want? And then she said that Teal, like, basically just lay with me now, and we'll have a child, and that child will, like, absorb Archdemon's energy, so you don't have to die, or Alistair doesn't have to die, or the other guy who does die doesn't have to die.
What other guy?
The other third Grey Warden. Did you not know?
No.
Oh. Wow.
Wait, what?
Cool.
What is this?
Okay, so, right, do you remember the bit with the Landsmeet?
In the beginning?
No. In, like, okay, so it's about 2/3 of the way through.
Okay.
To rescue the princess.
Vaguely.
Okay, well, you're in the dungeon or something like that, and you open up the door, and this guy... Oh, wait, no, sorry, you don't open the door. This guy kind of strangles the guard, and then he takes his clothes, and then he's like, oh, thanks for that. And you're like, who the hell are you? And then it just turns out, oh, it's actually another Grey Warden.
I don't remember that at all.
No?
Holy crap.
So apparently this guy he's very old Grey Warden, and he actually tells you... Well, how did you find out about the Archdemon then? Because he reveals the secret to you. He's like, I need to see you both. Because we didn't... Alistair and I didn't know.
I thought the whole idea was that the whole idea in becoming the Grey Warden was to kill the Archdemon to start the calm or whatever. Yeah. I thought that was the whole point.
Okay, but...
I didn't know you learned that. I didn't know you learned that at the end. It's been a while. Like, I haven't played this game in 5 years. It's been... So I don't remember all the specifics.
Yeah, so what happened? Final battle, which is really hard, by the way. I did not enjoy it at all. So for my friends were watching me do this, and they were just in awe that I was, because they were saying, because I was playing on Nightmare, remember, which is the hardest difficulty, and they were sitting there like, you're just going to have the hardest problem with the last act of the game. You're just not going to be able to do it. And they were watching me like, ha, this is going to be a train wreck. And I just blazed through it. I didn't die once. It was everyone. I'm like, what's so hard, guys? They're just in awe. I got lucky. I'll admit that. I wasn't that good at the game. I just got lucky, but it was funny. I did the whole, I kind of broke the game a bit, where like the dragon was in a loop of like growling whenever it got hit with the ballast things, I think they're called. The giant arrows, basically. Yeah. It kept doing like
the ballistae.
Yeah, thank you. It kept doing like a roar, and it would keep doing the roar action or animation, and then it would do its attack. But I kept spamming it, the ballistae, whatever, and it kept repeating. So it was just like slowly chipping away, and I was like, Jesus, this is very anticlimactic.
Yeah. So what did you think overall, now that you have completed it? What your overall opinions on Dragon Age?
I really enjoyed Dragon Age. It's a very engrossing game, but it's kind of how do I say it? It doesn't.
I don't know.
It's not as chunky. Well, it is chunky. There's a lot of decisions and stuff, but the decisions feel very like it's not as deep as you would think. When you first imagine you making them, you're thinking, "Oh God, what's this? This is going to be a huge decision." You have to.
The state of the world doesn't quite change as drastically as you might think at the outset.
Yeah, it's the same deal that I had, or problem I had with Fallout New Vegas, because once you finish the game, that's it. All the decisions you've made, they're kind of for no reason. You just get
that's
ending, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of every game with moral choices, right? Most games, with the exception of The Witcher 2, which is I don't even know how they freaking pulled this off, is that you make a choice in the first third of the game that literally changes the game completely. Mm-hmm. You see what it is, like two halves of the game. Yeah. You have to sit, you just won't even see parts of the world because you chose a different path. It was unbelievable. So, and my friends did a different choice than I did. So it was really interesting hearing all this stuff that was so different. That's just a completely different game. They're like, yeah, it's nuts. And I don't think, I mean, you look at The Walking Dead, on paper, you're making these big choices, but really, they're just minor differences. But those minor differences, since you have personal stake in it, feel like bigger choices. Yeah. when Alistair can die at the end, that's a big deal because you care about Alistair. So my character's alive. So what did you end up doing? Did you die?
No.
You sacrificed yourself?
Morgan did the ritual. So
what?
Yeah, I let her do the ritual because
I thought you didn't want. Oh, I thought you told her.
No, see, I thought that was her initiating the romance because I was like so close to, doing the romance thing because I wanted a trophy. Let's be honest there.
Yeah.
So I was practically there, and I think, because I was thinking this is kind of like Mass Effect, where before the final battle, they come into your room and say, "Oh, hey, let's get jiggy."
We're about to die.
Yeah. Might as well pass the time.
So what exactly happens? Because when I turned Morgan down, she's like, "Well, screw you then," and she ran away, and I never saw her again.
Oh, so she wasn't even in the final battle?
No.
Oh, wow.
She got angry that I wouldn't do this, and she left.
So yeah, it was really generic, awkward sex scene that I was like, God, where's the skip button? And then she showed up for the final battle, and
she shows up. So she wasn't in your party?
She was in my party, yeah, and you could select.
Okay.
But the second the final battle is over, she's gone.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, is that no one knows what happens to Morgan. And there's a DLC campaign that quote unquote answers the question of what happened to Morgan, but apparently it's so vague and horrible that everyone is super angry with it. First of all, that's gross anyway. The super big cliffhanger, they're like, oh, if you want to see how it plays out, buy this DLC that sucks.
Yeah. Because she is a crucial character. If it was something like you want to learn more about Ogren or Sten, their kind of backstories, you want to see what the Canary Lands look like. That's a cool DLC, I'm up for that. That's interesting. But this is huge. This is a massive.
This is monumental. And during the marketing for Inquisition, they're like, you're going to get the answer to Morgan. Trust me. It's really weird that, because Dragon Age 2 came out, once again, no Morgan. So everyone wants to know what happened. Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah, I said at the start, she was really kind of annoying me, I guess. But she kind of, eventually she
win you over. I told you. I feel like if we go back and listen.
But the thing is, it wasn't that she won me over, and I find myself going, oh yeah, Morgan, you're totally right. I said, no, Morgan, that is completely wrong. That is awful to even consider. What the fuck is wrong with you? But it just became so often that I was just like, well, that's just the way she thinks, and there's nothing I can do about it. So
she has a messed up past.
Yeah.
So
there was one scene where, okay, now you probably may not have experienced it, but this is what happens. So there's a problem in the alienage, and you need to go figure out what's going on. And by figuring it out, you can gain support for the Landsmeet, which what you need to get support at the Landsmeet to make Alistair be king and then take on the Darkspawn, yada yada yada. So I went to the alienage and figured out what's going on, and it turns out there's slave trade going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa, this is awful. This is terrible. First of all, it's my race, race of elves being enslaved. It's bad as well, And I came to the final boss, and he was like, just let me go, let me go. I'll give you all the money, and I'll give you support at the Landsmeet. And I was just like, no. You die now. Sorry. That's it. And Morgan was like, it's like, what are you doing? You could have got money or something, And I was like, what the hell are you on about? And then
we could have used him.
Yeah, before we slay him, he's like, stop. I'll give you a spell to increase your health, basically, And
that is super weird.
And she was like, but I have to sacrifice these slaves. And I was like, that's really tempting. No, obviously not. I'm just not going to flip-flop in 2 seconds. Jesus Christ, you're still dying. I'm sorry. And she was like, Morgan was like, that's very clever. Yes, it'd be a travesty to not use that. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's just, I get it. She's a quirky character.
I feel like there's something there, an idea for a moral choice system where the game is super hard, but if you're evil, if you do the evil choices, the selfish choices, I wouldn't even call them evil, but for that example that you just gave, oh, this game's really hard, I'm struggling to get past it, and this character just offered me more health. So I have to kill all these slaves so I can get that health, just so I can progress. That's kind of an interesting, I don't know how I feel about it. On paper, it's interesting.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if I want to be good, I want to be good. You know, I don't want it to be more challenging just because I want to play the way I want to play. So I don't know.
That'd be a good, like a Walking Dead sort of game where it's like you need to kill someone to get these supplies, kind of deal.
Well, that's kind of what Walking Dead is, anyways. Yeah. Well, that's why I like Shades of Grey over the just obviously good and obviously evil choices, because.
But that one there, the Dragon Age one, was very it's very black and white.
Yeah, it is. Yes, and Dragon Age isn't all that. There are plenty of shades of gray.
Yeah.
I feel like the entire ending that we just discussed was radically different, because you can go either way. You know, you don't want to die, but at the same time, you don't want to kill anyone else. So so what is the evil? It's just So Dragon Age.
Yeah, I was going to wrap up the endings of what happened. So I picked for like dwarves. I picked King Balin, and he was the guy that killed. He was the son of the heir, but everyone said he wasn't he wasn't the rightful heir because he was evil, which he is evil because he stabs a dude straight up when you first meet him. But he's a really good leader, I guess is what I want to say.
That's what the ending says.
Yeah, he's a strong leader, and people say he's slightly he's a bit of a tyrant, but he's definitely bringing Orzammar into it's more modernized. There's more trade with the surface. So everything's better, but the king is just a bit of an asshole. And I was like,
so
you got to suffer through that,
A couple of weeks ago, when you told me about the decision you made with the dwarves, I brought up a beef I had with this exact example at the ending, the summary that you get for the dwarves. Yeah. If you pick Harrowmont, it talks about how Orzammar is in chaos because he's such a crappy leader, and that annoys me just because when you're there and you're experiencing it, there's no reason why Harrowmont should be a bad leader, and there's every reason in the world why Balin should be a bad leader, but yet just because the game decides that we're gonna twist this at the end just to give you gotcha. Yeah. But I don't know, it's super annoying because there's no reason. It's just because you clearly wanted me to like Harrowmont, but since you decided that you just wanted to screw with me, you switched the outcomes, and it just. I don't know. It seemed weird to me. Yeah. I don't remember the other outcomes, to be honest with you.
That was the only one I kind of really focused on. Morgan, she went into hiding. Alistair was king. Everyone said he was a really good king because...
Still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive.
So my Alistair is dead. That's going to be interesting.
He's a good king. Everyone says he's very... he's the common touch with people. I think that was one thing they said. He's very sociable king. He's very relatable. The other endings were kind of boring, I think. They're very and they all lived happily ever after. There was no real kind of, everyone's suffering. At least I don't think, everyone's.
So are you gonna jump into Dragon Age Awakening?
Probably not. I'm kind of.
It's good.
Yeah, but I'm kind of burned out with Dragon Age.
You just take a break.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
just come back.
I want something new, So.
Yeah, I mean, don't play it right now. Just it's not going anywhere. So. Whenever you clean your palate, come back.
Yeah, no. So if you haven't played Dragon Age, anyone listening, if you haven't played Dragon Age, definitely check it out because
at this point you're an idiot because it was free.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't played Dragon Age,
or they might not have a good PC. You never know.
I don't know. That game doesn't require a lot. It's pretty old at this point.
But anyways, if PC isn't your thing, you can definitely pick it up on Xbox or PlayStation.
For dirt cheap.
Yeah.
$5.
What? Less than $10.
Yeah.
It's so cheap and
it's a good game. It's a lot of game.
Yeah. It's a very good game for the price of it, definitely. And even before, I can imagine people playing this much money because it's just so good. You kind of just go, what a fucking steal this game is, because I got this for it's so cheap and there's so much in it. And the thing is, once you're playing it, you kind of go, I'd love to see this from a different perspective, you know what I mean? So there's tons of replayability in it. And, it's, if you like fantasy and you like a good story, the story is really good in it, by the way. It's very...
That's kind of the reason you're going.
Yeah. You might not like combat, but if you're like me and thought the combat was okay, just
turn the difficulty down.
Turn it down and just kind of slog through it, that's all I can say to you. It kind of gets interesting sometimes where it's this is okay, and then once you start getting really powerful and you get to like really do some cool stuff. Because I was like an archer, and then at the start it was horrendous. I was just
Oh yeah, did that end up getting better for you?
yeah, much better. I did stuff like I had this like one move where you like fire off like one arrow that bounces off to other people. So like I could hit one darkspawn, and then he would like bounce off his buddies. So that's like
His buddies.
5 kills. Yes, buddies.
His pals.
His buddy old pal. And yeah, you got like 5 kills in one go, and I was like, yep, this is pretty sweet. You know, there's nothing to help you feel like a badass in killing 5 people in one go.
So, Dragon Age Inquisition, I'll be playing that real soon. That game comes out in a couple weeks.
That game is just, it's looking so good. It's so pretty.
I'm probably gonna play that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I have to say, like, I'm really excited for, I saw that you can have mounts in the game now, which is super cool.
What?
Yeah, you can have, like, not like the traditional, like, obviously you can, but you can have, so obviously you can have horses, but I also read you can have, like, creatures as well. So, you know.
Like a dragon?
Maybe not.
Probably not. Dragons are bad.
See, I don't know how open this game is. It says very open world, but like...
Well, yeah.
Do you mean it's in it? You have to follow a path, and that path can lead you to many different places? Because that's not really open world. That's more like... Are you talking kind of like GTA open world?
The idea...
Or what, you know?
The idea, they came out and said that they are heavily influenced by Skyrim because Skyrim took the world by storm. Even the naming scheme, Dragon Age : Inquisition, is kind of mimicking Elder Scrolls : Skyrim.
Yeah.
They're trying to distance themselves from Dragon Age 2, so they dropped the number altogether. So they're trying to go all out with the open world. I don't know how open. I've barely seen anything of it. You say Dragon Age, I'm interested anyway, regardless of how much of my feelings of Dragon Age 2. I'm gonna listen to what you have to say because I really like that first one a lot. Yeah. So I'll be checking that out, and we'll get so quickly becoming the Dragon Age podcast. Yeah. Oh well, I like Dragon Age.
I like Dragon Age too. Well, I mean 1, not 2.
Yeah, as well.
Also, it's 2.
In addition to,
it is because I don't know.
I really dislike 2.
How different is it from 1? Because that will let me know what I think of it.
Well, what are your favorite parts of 1?
Story, kind of the characters as well.
Okay, so the characters are not as good. The story is, I didn't even remember. I couldn't even tell you the story of Dragon Age 1 or 2. I mean,
and you haven't played Dragon Age 1 in so long, and you still remembered.
Yeah, I remember quite a bit of it, and I played Dragon Age 2 long after Dragon Age 1, and I forgot all of it, so there you go.
Is there a lot of crossover from 1 into 2?
Nope. Very, very little. There's, I don't know, is Anders in Dragon Age 1? Okay, the fact that you don't know that means that he's in Awakening. So there's a character from Dragon Age Awakening that becomes part of your party in Dragon Age 2.
Okay.
And Liliana, or whatever her name is, who I did not recruit, mind you, appears in Dragon Age 2.
I think I'm missing someone in my party, by the way, for Dragon Age 1.
Was there it might be the DLC guy.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I didn't have it.
Okay, so I
feel like he's a golem, maybe.
Yes. I have the white-haired witch. Can't remember her name. Wynn.
Yeah.
Sten, the Canary guy. Liliana, the bard. Ogren, the dwarf. Alistair, the dog. And Morgan. That's all I have.
Yeah, that's about what I had. I didn't have Liliana or whatever.
Because I keep thinking I'm missing someone.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Anyway.
I don't know. Who cares? Moving on. We can't talk about Dragon Age anymore.
No.
Never again. Until I play Inquisition, and then we're going to talk about it again.
I'll grill you mercilessly for questions, because I'm so interested in playing this game.
Yeah.
Might be getting it for Halloween. Might be getting it for holidays.
I was going to say Halloween. You got some early access to...
Yeah, I might be getting...
You've been playing anything else?
No, actually. I've been playing... I'm playing a cool app, I guess, on my iPod.
What is it?
Okay, so...
Give it to me in 30 seconds. I want the rundown.
Okay, so it's like Temple Run, but it's Spider-Man. So... Yeah.
Okay, don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. If you enjoy it. I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about for apps. You either like them or you don't. Yeah. There's not a lot to them.
I just play it when I'm waiting on my train. I'm like, oh, cool. Because it's a really cool little animations. Like every time you start a level, there's really cool animation of Spider-Man swinging in and doing loads of flips and shit. And I go, man, I wish I was playing that game. And then you just start running.
All right.
So yeah.
It just teases you with this better game. That's funny.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of like, you know, when you're watching a cutscene game, you're like, man, I wish the game looked like that. And then it's just
well, that happens less so now, because I feel with a gaming PC, the cutscenes look worse than the actual game, which is crazy to me. But I remember when, and this is actually a decent transition to what I've been playing, when Final Fantasy had those nice big CG cutscenes. I'm like, and I talked to my friends, can you imagine the day when games look like this? And they look so bad now. They're so crappy. You look at them and they're so awful.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh man, I can't even imagine games looking like that. You can't even fathom. And now they're horrible. They're disgusting and make you want to puke. The reason, well, not the reason, is just a smooth transition that I'm ruining. But Final Fantasy VII is the only game I've been playing. Mm-hmm. I got to the big major, spoilers for Final Fantasy VII if people care. I got to the big major moment in that game. Do you know what that moment is?
I do not, but I probably know of it. So
it is the moment where Aeris, who is basically your love interest, is killed.
Oh, okay.
This game came out in 1997, and that was kind of unheard of back then. Mm-hmm. And
hold on, is that the scene where, what's the guy's name?
Sephiroth?
Yeah, Sephiroth. He just drops down from the...
Yes, he drops down, stabs her through yes.
Even I know that, and I haven't...
Yeah, it's a legendary, that when you don't even have to play any Final Fantasy game to know what that is. It was a big deal for games back then, just to have that kind of thing happen, because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I went into this thinking that this probably sucks nowadays. Guess what? It doesn't. It's actually still pretty well done.
Good to hear.
There are things I would change about it, like the fact that the part that you said where he drops down, that's kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
But the part, so when she dies and the little magic jewel, it's called materia, falls out of her, and when it hits the ground, it goes ping, and when it says ping, it's synced up to the music. So the music gets really sad as soon as it hits the ping, and then the piano starts playing, and then it pings again, and the piano starts playing some more. It sounds cheesy the way I'm describing it, but it's actually effective. And then immediately, and you haven't, keep in mind, you have not even spoken to this character for a while. She actually ran off and on her own. She's like, I'm not going to get you guys involved with this anymore. This is my fight now. And she ran off, and you went after her. And when you find her, no words are spoken. She just instantly gets stabbed, and she dies. You don't get to say, there's no heartfelt goodbye. She just dies. And that was ballsy. Yeah. And I will say the game has an inconsistency where she's meant to be your love. Clearly, she is meant to be your love interest throughout the game, but there's this other female character who is also kind of your love interest, and there's this triangle a little bit. Based on dialogue choices you make throughout the game. You can basically get closer to one or the other. This time I got closer to the other person.
Right.
So the moment was less impactful to me because I had moments with this other character that were really close. And then when she died, I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. I still have this other chick who's still,
okay.
But yeah, the music's really sad. And then Sephiroth does I think Sephiroth is a crappy character, and I can't really explain to you why, because you don't know him, but everyone loves that character. And I think he just sucks. He's crazy. That is his trait. He is a psycho. That's kind of only his motivation is like, I want to be the crazy man that takes over the world. Like big freak. That's just bad character. That's just what it is.
Bowser, basically.
But yeah, kinda. Yeah. He is a villain. The only thing redeemable about him is that he kills this character that you like.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's very like contrasting, where you have this big moment where the character dies, but then you have like, it's like being stabbed by a clown, where it's like, oh,
yeah.
And then you're like, oh, but the clown had
I mean, they are really trying to bring home the cool. Like when he shows up, this music gets all dark and somber, and there's a heartbeat. It's like every time he shows up, he's supposed to be really dark and brooding, and you don't know his past, and he just kills people mercilessly, and but he's just crazy. He doesn't have any redeemable characteristics about him. He doesn't have a character. He's just a crazy man, and it's boring. But I don't know. People seem to like him because he's cool and anime and has long hair and a really long sword.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, the scene happens. She dies. The music starts playing, And then almost immediately after the Sephiroth gives his little spiel about why he killed her, which again, that's another inconsistency I have, because there was kind of really no reason for him to do that other than he's a dick. He's like, yeah, well, I mean, why he killed her in the first place? There really wasn't much of a reason. You could argue that it's because she's the last ancient and she's getting in the story. Don't worry about it. But then,
a-hole.
Yeah, kind of like. Well, he doesn't have a sound. There's no voice acting, so.
Okay. Oh god.
Yeah, and so he jumps away. He jumps away, and then you have to fight a boss.
Right.
So this is at this point in the game, you've played dozens of hours, and every time you fight a boss, this ripping guitar song kicks in. It goes like, it's like super fast, and you're like, yeah, it's time to fight a boss, and it's awesome. And the bosses a lot of the times are really challenging, and you'll die and have to try again. This one, the music, the sad music, even during this huge grotesque boss fight, is still the sad piano music from the death of the character. And I think that works really, really well, because you're thinking this boss fight on paper should matter, but it doesn't. The only thing that matters right now is the death of his character and the way that your character is feeling toward this. At this point, this boss is just in the way, because it's like, I'm not even thinking about you right now. Just die, get out of my way so I can grieve.
Sound effect. Design.
Yeah. Yeah. And the boss, contrary to bosses that have happened before, is kind of easy. So it's kind of just, it's hard enough to know that it's a boss, and it's big enough, and what, like, through the story, what boss it is, so it's a boss. And you're just like, I don't even care. I'm just going to kill this thing and get on. It's a interesting example of playing with the expectations of gamers based on gameplay conventions, which, a boss fight happens, you expect to sit there and, die a couple times or whatever, and the boss there is a boss theme, so you expect that to start playing. And it doesn't, and it just, it doesn't matter, because right now all that your character is thinking about is the death of his love, and that's really interesting. It reminds me of The Last of Us. Near the end of The Last of Us, when you go and pick up the ladder for Ellie, and you're just holding the ladder there, and Ellie, you have picked up this ladder 1,000,000 times for Ellie to climb, but this one she doesn't climb. You pick up the ladder and you hold it there or whatever. No, I think he's trying to boost her up or whatever.
Yeah, and you turn
and she's just sitting, and she's just not thinking about it. She doesn't care, and Joel points like, Ellie, what are you doing? We've been through this. And it was interesting to me, because it's another example of, you've done this 1,000,000 times. It is breaking the expectations. It's such a cool little moment. It's a minor, but it's cool because, I hit triangle here. She's supposed to be jumping up on my shoulder or whatever. She's not doing it. Something's messed up. It's really cool the way they use gameplay to tell stories. And I feel like that's why this is such a big deal. Like, it was well done.
Another good example of that is at the end of Dark Souls. So for the whole Dark Souls, you're fighting bosses. Always the music is really like chaotic, loud, like opera.
Yeah.
Now when you fight the final boss, who's
Gwyn.
It's just Gwyn. Yeah. So spoilers. Actually, no spoilers, because it says straight away you're going to fight him. But
yeah, you know right up front who you're fighting.
So once you go,
also, who cares?
You just get this really sad music with just a tinkling piano, and you're kind of like, whoa, why is the music so sad? And then you kind of, if you've been paying attention to the story, you're kind of like, well, you realize that it's this really desperate guy who just wants to hang on to this flame to keep it lit, and he's just defending it, and it's just, like you said, you expect the music to be all like insane.
Yeah, especially throughout the whole game, where the boss fight music is like, and it's super,
You walk in, it's super atmospheric, just this piano playing quietly, and then you're like, whoa, this is definitely a change of pace. And like, he's this really simple boss, because you think it's the last boss, this is going to take all my strength.
He's not easy, but he's definitely not the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, for the whole game, you cannot, like, you can barely touch the bosses. Like, if you touch a boss, you're dead. But with this one, you can actually parry him. So
yeah, because he's a dude. The other bosses are just these giant, overwhelming beasts. This is just a guy.
Yeah, but it kind of makes sense, where it's just like, you can
a big guy
take him down. Yeah, he's a big beefy guy, but he's really old.
But he's a dude. Yeah,
you can parry him, and then when he's like, whoa, he falls back because you parried him, you just stab him like into his chest, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, this is a boss.
And I'm glad. Keep going.
So, yeah, I'm just saying, it's that kind of like the game plays with your expectations.
I'm glad you brought this example up too, because what happens after you kill that guy? A bonfire pops up. What is your first instinct to do when you see a bonfire in Dark Souls? You freaking rest at that bonfire. That's exactly what you do. And because of that, you get an ending. Mm-hmm. The game there are 2 endings. And one of which plays with your expectations. The other one is...
Most people didn't even know there was 2 endings.
I know! I didn't either. Until my friend watched me do it, and he's like, there's another ending, right? I'm like, what? No. What? And that's nuts. Which, it's not quite the same, but it is similar in that they're using gameplay. It kind of... Another example about this is a little bit like BioShock, when how they have a narrative reason for why it's so linear. Yeah. And it's interesting the ways in which these developers are playing with gameplay mechanics to not necessarily screw, but just to tell different stories via their mechanics. Have you played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons or whatever it's called? I recommend it for this exact reason. I won't tell you. Because it is a big deal. Okay. It's probably cheap. It's on PS3.
I think I might have it on PS Plus. I just need to renew my subscription.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's short. It's not like the greatest game, but in terms of the story and what it tries to do, it tells a story based solely on gameplay mechanics, and it's brilliant. It's really well done, and it's kind of what I'm getting at here. And I kind of feel like more games should try to do this. Right. It's difficult, but when it's done in such it just impresses me every time it happens. And I never would have appreciated this moment in Final Fantasy VII had I not gone back and played it again. Now as an adult, there's no way I would have. Yeah. Because as a kid, I know it's a big deal that Aeris died, because Aeris was this cute little innocent. That's another bummer that I have, is that Aeris is and I keep calling her Aeris because that's what she is in the U.S., but she's more nationally known as Aerith, and I think it's a stupid name. But she's like a child, kinda. She acts like a child. She's really immature. That's kind of the bummer I have. I actually like despite her calling the one character a retard, I like the other female better. Yeah, but still, I'm actually really glad I went back to play this, because I understand better why it was such a big deal.
It does sound like it's aged really well. Like it's very
that moment has. There are things in that game that have. Well, okay, a good example of things that haven't aged well is that immediately following that moment, you're snowboarding down a mountain.
Nice.
You're trying to collect balloons and snowboard through cones and jump off ramps, and it's so stupid. What were they thinking? In fact, the character barely even seems affected by this monumental thing that happened for hours, because you can tell that the game designers were like, okay, this game's not long enough, let's put this thing in here, because later on he does seem affected and he's changed, and there's actually another really well done moment later on that I forgot about completely, which was your character he's basically mind controlled by Sephiroth, which is stupid, but who cares about that? And as a result, he becomes not basically comatose, but in a vegetative state. Right. And you control the female, the other one that I was talking about, which is why the love triangle, I think, works. It actually comes around and pays off, because, she still loves this guy, even though he has fallen for someone else and has lost her because they're childhood friends or whatever. And so I'm not going to give you the specifics of how, but basically she ends up in his memory, and she's trying to put them together, because you just learned that this guy was basically a clone and not really a real person with memories that were made up. And you're going through his memories trying to figure out if that's true or not. And the way it sounds cheesy, like I said, everything I'm telling you sounds really cheesy. But when it's the way it's done, the twist actually is that, so he actually made up the stuff. It's impossible to explain this to you without telling you the whole story of Final Fantasy VII. But basically it works. Let's just say that it's really well done. It's sweet. It's it's not quite the same as what I was saying. It's not like a play on gameplay mechanics so much as that it's just a nice little scene.
Yeah.
That wraps things up. It's a kind of an info dump too, but it works, and the relationship between the character works. And I really don't think people criticize Cloud for being super goth and emo, and he's really not. I didn't get that impression of it at all. And I mean, up at the front, I did, because he's supposed to be cool, and that's what every Final Fantasy character is. Like, I got a big sword and spiky hair, and I'm awesome. Mm-hmm. But eventually, it just comes back around. He's an actual dude. He's a weird dude.
Well, it was the 90s, so, you know. Was he like the Poochie of the group?
Cloud? He's the main character.
What? Oh, is he? Oh, I thought Cloud was like somewhere, dude.
No, Cloud is the dude you control.
So.
Yeah.
So is he like Poochie of the group then?
No.
In the end, he just like
there are several Poochies, though. I will say there are.
This guy, I must return.
I wish there are some really bad characters, as there are in every Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
There are some really bad minor and major characters. In fact, there's one character that I thought was awesome as a child that I absolutely hate now, because he's basically a wife beater.
Right.
He's just a jerk. He's a bad person. He's not good. Which I thought was cool when I was a kid, you know, like, yeah, he's super awesome and he swears a lot. Yeah, it's hilarious.
So moving on from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, it's good.
Interested to play the new one? Because
yes.
Never.
You might be interested in playing the new one because it looks like a Devil May Cry sort of game.
Yeah, the thing I was looking at it revealed, and I was like, this is a Final Fantasy game, and I just thought to myself, this kind of looks like if you took a scoop of Shadow of the Colossus,
just a
smidge, and sprinkled in some Devil May Cry, and then, I don't know, just turned it into the Hangover movie.
And then also every character is a Final Fantasy character, because those are Final Fantasy looking dudes.
Yeah, and then throw in a Japanese boy band, and somehow you've got the game. You know, like, geez,
it sounds great.
It just, you wouldn't think this works, but when you see it in action, you're like, this looks so ridiculously stupid, but I can't wait to play it, because
this looks more interesting than Final Fantasy has looked in a long time.
Yeah, because like,
or for you forever, because you're not a Final Fantasy guy. So
that's the thing, because like when I see a Final Fantasy, I always go, oh look, it looks really cool, because the the CG is really cool. But it's kind of the stage now where I kind of see it and go, that's, you know, looks really Final Fantasy-ish. And, you know, maybe some people like it, but to me, I always like seeing animations and CG design grow, like continuously grow. So, like, just look at like Pixar, like Toy Story. Like if you go back and watch Toy Story, the first one, the hair animation in that is awful, absolutely.
Yeah, terrible. I mean, it still looks okay, but it. Yeah.
And then when I just think
go look at Toy Story 3, though.
The jump is huge, and it's continuously advancing. But when I see this, I still see the same kind of thing. Where I'm like, it looks the same as the other one, because it was so good before, but it still looks the same. But now, what it's offering to me now is this cool idea, because when I used to see trailers for Final Fantasy before, I just thought, it just looks really generic. It looks like every other Final Fantasy game ever. But this one, I have no clue what is going on.
Yeah, no one knows what that, and that's kind of the most interesting part about it, is that it doesn't look like. Well, it kind of does. I was going to say that every Final Fantasy but turns into saving the world.
Right.
And this game doesn't look like that. It kind of just looks like a bunch of crazy dudes in a car just having some fun.
Yeah. No, I have no idea.
But then you're fighting monsters, so who knows what is actually happening, because I don't know. But I'm very intrigued to know more, at the very least. I didn't like 13, so I might try that again, just because it's on PC now, and eventually on Steam it'll be like $2. Yeah. So I haven't played anything else, but I did over the weekend. I went and saw the Book of Mormon.
Oh, okay. How'd you get on?
So, do you know what that is?
Yeah, the musical.
Yeah, the musical from the South Park guys.
Right. So, what if I didn't know what it was? Would you mind explaining?
It is a musical written by the South Park guys.
But I thought you were gonna go like into more detail.
It's it's basically. It's making fun of, but tastefully making fun of Mormonism, but religion in particular, just organized religion in general. They're kind of poking fun at.
Yeah.
And I was worried that when the play starts, okay,
is it very like much like kind of like a stretched out version of the episode they did?
Well, that's exactly what I was gonna start off in saying. I thought that was what was gonna happen. Is that it starts off, it is very much Trey Parker narrating the setup to the story,
Right.
and I'm like, is this just gonna be a 2-hour South Park episode with people? Not at all. Not even close. It was fantastic. I very much enjoyed it. It's won every award in the world. I don't think there has been a negative thing said about this thing ever. It is universally praised, and rightfully so. It is brilliant, super smart, super hilarious. The songs are catchy. The characters are great. I recommend it's on tour now, which is why I was able to see it, because it used to just be on Broadway for like $200 a ticket, and that's bananas.
Crazy.
So if it comes to your city, I highly recommend it. It was a ton of fun. The most interesting part about it was that it is clearly a satire, right? Making fun of Mormonism. There was a protester outside the theater protesting that Mormonism is a lie. And the cast member, he was like, don't believe Joseph Smith's lies because Mormonism's not real. And does he not know what it is? Does he not? The cast members were actually outside saying, you do know this is a satire, right? This is a joke. It's entertainment. We're not actually preaching the Book of Mormon here. This is a play. It's like, no, and he just wouldn't have it. He was out there the whole freaking time. It was great.
It's commitment.
It was like josephsmithlies.com he had on a sign.
Dum 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 dum. That was a great episode.
There was also, yeah. That episode. No, it is not like that episode at all. In fact, the main, they do describe what Mormonism is because you have to.
Yeah.
But it's not the main focus. The main focus is these two missionaries that are trying to spread the word of Mormonism to Africa. Mm-hmm. And that's basically the story. It's not really about Mormonism. Mm-hmm. It's great. I'd recommend it.
All right.
To anybody. So now it's time for what I want to call, and it's official because I'm the host. Hugh's News.
Yeah. Slightly more cheesy and call it.
Yeah, no, I can't allow that.
I call it Louis Hughes in the news because I was like, come on.
No, Hughesy Lewis.
Oh yeah, no, I changed it. Come on.
Wait, you wanted to call it Louis Hughes? No. Hughes? What did you want to call it?
It's obviously not going to be that now. There's so much hubbub over it already.
Well, it's bad anyway. That's not your name's not Hughesy.
I want to call it. I want to call it Louis Hughesy in the news or something like that. I can't.
Hughesy Lewis, right?
Sure, why not?
Because it's Huey Lewis.
Then I changed it because it sounded better. Like
no, it didn't.
Louis Hughes in the news because I was like
Louis. But your name's not Louis Hughes.
If we had a guy called Louis on this podcast, we could.
Your name's actually Hughes.
Yes. But if we could have him on it, then we could.
So if we had Louis,
then comment
Hugh
on the news, then that would be good.
But we don't, and we also don't have a guy named Lewis.
Hey.
So we can't use Hughesy Lewis. And the news is not a person. This is just
this is the dilemmas we go through every day. Just trying
This was actually a discussion. That's kind of that's sad.
Yeah.
Our life is weird.
Video games, people. We have other things to discuss. More important.
Yes, important life topics. You think life is just play to us? No, we're busy debating the hot topics, such as Hughesy Lewis. So anyway, Hugh's News. There's been some news this week.
Yeah, man. There's been so much news.
I don't recall any of it, but you're going to re-enlighten me with this first story.
First story is okay. So this is a bit of a big one. So Super Smash Bros. Wii U will have 8 fighters on the screen at the same time, which I think is pretty big because
only local.
Yeah, only local. Obviously, yeah. Is it 4-player multiplayer? Just
4-player online. Yeah. 8-player local.
And when I was looking at this, I was like, "This is just a chaos." I can already picture it because 4 players was crazy enough, you know.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you can use 8 GameCube controllers at the same time. But
yeah, so is that how it works?
Yeah, you can.
That's nuts.
Yeah, there's loads of kind of stuff you can use where. Okay.
So you use the gamepad, a Wii remote, and 5 GameCube controllers, and it sounds like a mess though.
It does, but if once you get 2 adapters, you're sorted. You can just use the 8 GameCube, or you could use your 3DS. So if everyone has a 3DS,
What?
yeah, you can use your 3DS to play Smash Bros on Wii U. Did you not know?
Why would you though? I did know that actually. Now that you mention it, but why would you do that?
Well, in case you're stuck, basically.
In case you have no other controllers.
Because there's 4 USB ports on the Wii U, isn't there?
Is there? I don't know. I have one like 6 feet, not even, about 4 feet from me. I could look, but I'm not going.
And 2 on the back. So
in theory, well, you got the gamepad that's wireless.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Pro controller. I don't know if that's wired or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one.
Right.
The Wii remotes are wireless.
Mm-hmm.
Then the GameCube adapter. But who has 8 GameCube controllers?
I don't know. I'm sure you can get them for cheap.
Probably not anymore. Not with this game.
The market just shut up for GameCube controllers.
I wish I had some GameCube controllers. I actually don't. I actually don't even really want to play this new Smash Brothers that much.
I'd love to try it out and have a go with it.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had people to play with, I should say, but because I don't. If I lived with my roommate still, then I would be all over this. But
yeah, if I was out at a party and it's like someone's like, "Oh, we're playing new Smash," I was like, "Oh, Jesus, let me in."
But now the people that are in my life just don't give a crap about video games. So
yeah, I'm at the ripe old age of 20 where people are renewed interest in old games. We're like, "Oh yeah, let's play Smash, let's play Mario Kart and stuff like that," you know. And it's just
those games will stand the test of time and they also have crossed the barriers of. I mean, Mario Kart at the very least has where people that don't even play video games are like, oh, throw the turtle shell at them.
You playing Mario? Yes.
Are you playing that Mario?
Oh god, my parents use it all the time. I'm watching like The Simpsons. Are you watching Homer Simpson? No, I'm watching The Simpsons.
The Simpsons. There's more than just Homer.
Yeah, Homer's not even in this episode. Come on. Get on board, Dad.
Homer's in most episodes.
Okay, so the other bit of news coming out of that was that Mewtwo is also a confirmed DLC character in the terms of, okay, so if you have Smash Bros. On the DS, you can get them for free on the Wii U. But I think you have to pay.
I hope to God.
I'm pretty sure.
That's $40.
They should lock them out if you have the DS version. So I think that's pretty cool. Was he in the last one?
He was in Melee. I don't think he was in Brawl. But he sucked. I hated playing as him, so I don't care. I think that's the thing, is that we're giving you Mewtwo because we can't exactly do it for, let's say, Link. Yeah. We can't, because people would lose their minds. But since it's Mewtwo, who cares?
Well, the cool thing about this is that, it's 8 people playing one game, and I just think that's just picture that in your head. Like with 2 people, it's like, it's fine. 3 people, that can get a bit messy. 4.
I mean, four people is already chaos. I can't even.
8.
You're gonna have
nuts.
I want to know how far back that screen is gonna stretch.
Oh yeah.
Because on the 3DS, it already does that pretty bad. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of many games that. Well, when was the last time I've ever played a game with more than 4 players? Because I can't.
Well,
what about you? Have you played
online? I do it all the time. So.
Yeah, but in the same room,
I don't think I don't think I've ever had that situation where I've played. I mean, unless it was a take turn sort of.
Yeah. But
never simultaneously. I've never had 8 controllers in my life. You nuts?
No. But I usually say, hey, bring up your controller. But the thing is, I can't think of a game that actually, what more than 2 players? Couch co-op? Are you mad? Unless it's Borderlands, and even then I wouldn't play it because the screen would be tiny.
Yeah, that's the thing that I can't find this to be. Oh, I guess.
Apparently
I think the last time I would say I've even played a game with 4 people at the same time would be like Rock Band. That'd be the last time I would say. I can't even think of the last time I sat down with someone on a couch and played a game on the same console with them. It's been a really long time.
For me, it was, well, I've recently played, not recently, within a couple of months. I've played a Lego game, Lego Lord of the Rings. I played it with my girlfriend, and that was really fun because I haven't played a co-op game in so long. And the game, usually Lego games are just just run here and run there.
It's
you did have to work together.
Okay, so is it actually challenging, or just you have to quote unquote work it? You don't, because when there is no death penalty or anything, is there?
No, well, you lose your coin. But
a big freaking deal, yeah.
So what else? I played Portal 2 with my girlfriend, which is awful. Do not play.
Wait, in the same.
Yeah, you just know.
Ugh.
Go there. No, go, no. Okay, stop.
That
Makes me
was challenging.
You're just like, I have to be like, hey, I'm
I mean, that
tutorial, you know?
that brings out the dominant person. That right there is the game you play when you want to know which one is the more dominant. Because when I was playing with my friend, and I was doing the one directing, you know, and he was fine with it because he was like, okay.
Well, my defense there is that she doesn't play games, so I kind of have to be like,
yeah,
oh, go there.
And I was clearly better at games than he was, but it was just, yeah. I'm like, no, stop, stand over there. So, what are you doing?
No, what are you doing? Oh, you died. Oh, I have to start over again. Thanks a lot.
Great. Now we have to spend 30 seconds setting it up again.
Oh God, just give me both controllers. I'm gonna do it myself. I knew a guy that actually played a co-op game on 2 controllers by himself, and I'm still highly impressed how he did it. So back in the day,
what game was it?
Splinter Cell. Chaos.
Ooh, holy crap!
Yeah, they had that split co-op thing where it's like you're 2 spies and you have to do really cool stuff where you like to lower them down to like.
Yeah, I always wanted to play that.
It's really cool. Like I'm pretty sure. Like I've seen videos recently of people still playing it, so you know it's pretty cool. But he played both by himself. What he would do is he just would play it really slowly, where he would like move up an inch and then move up another inch with the other guy and just keep doing it like that. I was like, that must be so boring. And he said, well, it kind of is if like there's not much happening, but if you have to act really fast, it adds like a whole new challenge. And I was like, that's really interesting. It's like, you have to control 2 characters at once. But
I could never see myself doing something like that ever again. I remember, I mean, when you're younger and you only get 1 game every so months or every so many months, and you have to make it more interesting. So what do? I'll play this game upside down. Can I do this stage blindfolded? It's
nice.
I will say I played through 1 stage once in my life blindfolded and succeeded.
Nice.
It wasn't blindfolded. My eyes were closed.
Okay.
I didn't actually I'm not going to exaggerate, but I did not look at the screen but the level was there's no pitfalls. I picked that first level for a reason. There's no actual, you know what? There might be. I don't remember. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just did the first screen. Because I can't, now that I'm thinking about it. I actually have that game right over there. I can go try. I'm kidding. I'm not going to.
So, yeah, the whole...
Shinobi 3, if anybody cares.
There you go. Exclusive recommendation.
It's exclusive, the thing that I did.
Yeah, it's exclusive challenge.
You learned it here first. I'm the one that did it. And, yeah. So, what else?
I was going to say that, like, the Wii U has definitely stepped up its game. It's
oh, yeah.
It's very, like, the thing is, right, I always said before, like, oh, you know, I'm playing this game, and I want to play it with my friends. Couch co-op, definitely, because I do usually have my friends over, and I'm like, hey, do you want to play a game? It's like, sure, what can we play? Well, we can either play Rayman, because that's 4 players, or FIFA, or something else. And usually the something else is, it's either, hold on, let me take a look. It's usually, we take turns playing a game. It's like, hey, do you want to play Just Cause? Every time you die, we switch, which is...
Yeah, I used to do that all the time, too.
But it's really frustrating because I want to play a game with my friends, but I can't because there's not a lot of options. And when you hear co-op in a game, you're like, oh, cool, co-op. Oh, no, it's co-op online. They need to have a PlayStation as well. And it's just, oh, what's the point? I can't even play with my friends the traditional manner. But then... The
weird thing is...
It just goes, hey... You can have 8 friends in the room and have this complete carnage, and it's going to be a blast to play with you. And I'm thinking, this is very, very, it's very
with the rise of all these couch multiplayer games like Samurai Gun and Towerfall, and the Sports Friends and all this stuff that requires you to be. What was that other one? The Nidhogg is another one. Nidhogg, not the Nidhogg. Nidhogg is another one. And weird that. None of these games are on Wii U. The system that kind of encourages that sort of thing. There's something to be said for a system designed for this sort of thing. Especially, it could be a cheap one. I feel like the Ouya had potential if it didn't suck. You know what I mean? Like, you could have these couch co-op games for $100 and just play these old looking indie games on it. There's something to be, I feel like there's something there. There's potential for that, but no one cares about it anymore. Everyone's got their own. I mean, kids, that's where the meat of this stuff lies, because kids have friends that I mean, do they? I guess I don't know. Because
I'm sure.
they have access to the internet now. I remember when I wanted to hang out with my friends, I had to be in the vicinity of my friends. And I was just like, let's get on Skype.
Mm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But point is, I feel like you bring it back. Because there is something fun about being in the same room as someone and playing a game like that.
That's, you know, we lost the art of shit talking in terms of you can say, you know, like curse words and like really offensive stuff to people you don't know. But when you're in the same room with them and said like, oh, I'm absolutely going to like do this move right here, and then there's no.
I'm gonna absolutely do this to you.
Yes, I'm gonna absolutely do this to you. Prepare your butthole. But I remember playing Mario Kart before, and I was like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna set this up perfectly. I was driving right in front of my friend was Toad, and then like he was right behind me. Fucking banana peeled him, and then he got so mad at me, and he looked at me in the face and was just like, "What are you doing? I was gonna win." And I was like, sorry.
Mario Kart's a good. Mario Party was another one for me.
That was a friendship tester, I think. You know, friends is easy gaining with that game.
Oh, you know what? I played New Super Mario Brothers Wii with 2 other friends. Yeah. That you want to talk about friendship testers? Holy crap!
Screw your friends over with that.
Wow. My friend got so mad at me, he punched me in the knee. And it actually hurt. He actually did it hard enough to hurt. I'm like, ow, that was kind of uncalled for, I think.
Yeah,
well, it's because I was giving revenge for he killed me, so I picked him up and threw him off a ledge, and then he punched me. It's like, all right, we're taking this out of the game now and bringing this. This is no longer. This is personal.
It's that kind of, you know, fun kind of behavior that's really lost with like a.
Yeah, you can't get punched in the knee when you're playing online.
Yeah, like
it's true.
You piss someone off playing an online game, and then the next day he's still mad about it and just runs in and like RKOs you to the table.
The RKO stuff is so good.
RKO is still
from out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere. All right, let's move on. So next bit of news was from EA, you know, like their lumpet, and it says it was a tweet by Electronic Arts, and it says, "May the Force be with you. Star Wars Battlefront will release for holiday 2015," which is, I think, is cool. You know,
I don't believe them.
I was just gonna say, I think they're very ballsy for putting a stamp on it.
No, I think they're lying. I think they want it to be out by holiday 2015, but yeah. I can't wait until summer next year when they say Star Wars Battlefront has been delayed until first half of 2016. That's what's going to happen.
See, the thing is, I was excited when I read it because I was like, you know, that's cool. But I remember.
Do you care about Battlefront? That's Battlefield in Star Wars. You like Battlefield, though, I guess.
Battlefront 2, which is great. I loved it. The space combat was really, really cool. Alright, I like Star Wars, so, you know, hand in hand, I guess. But I remember reading it and thinking, I was excited for it. I was like, okay, they said it's going to be out in holiday 2015. That's somewhat tangible. I can maybe see that happening.
Nope.
But that was like my first initial, like, oh my god, 2015, I can totally see that happening. And then I went, oh wait, hold on, think back to E3. They showed a document.
Yeah, it was like a tech demo.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, we're still going out and getting pictures and, and like modeling the
behind the scenes look. Like,
well, that's kind of EA's that was kind of EA's press conference. That was the worst press conference of all time. We don't have any games to show you, but hey, we're working on stuff.
That was with that Mirror's Edge,
the Mass Effect thing, the Mirror's Edge thing, the weird what was the Burnout guys? What are they called?
Oh, Criterion, I think.
Yeah, Criterion.
Some game they have, which just they didn't have.
What are they doing? You know, they don't have any games? Are you kidding me?
It's kind of like
it was a mess.
Said, like, be back and like,
or just not had a press conference. Yeah, like
just left a sign that said it. You know, there you go. That's the press conference.
You don't have stuff to show. Don't show stuff. Big deal. Like
the reason I kind of wanted to say it because I knew you would be like, no, I can't see that happening. But
it's not happening.
What are you expecting out of this? Or do you just kind of want the same old, but just better? Like, look.
In terms, no, I want it to be good.
Did you not enjoy?
No, I enjoyed Battlefront 2, but it hasn't aged great.
No.
And I can say that definitively because I've played it on Steam. Well, not recently, but a few years ago, and it hasn't held up that well. And I might be done with Star Wars. I might be done getting excited about Star Wars, I should say. Because Star Wars hasn't produced anything that I care about in a very, very long time.
Yeah. When are new films coming out? 2017, isn't it?
It might be 2016. The first one comes out.
So
maybe the game comes out around the time of the first movie.
Yeah, I can totally see that happening. But another thing was that IGN tweeted and apparently said they're suggested that it will just be a first-person shooter. So I played it in third person, and
I'm fine with that. I don't really care. I like third person, but I don't know. It depends.
Yeah,
I think
first person and the user interface, UI, and all that is really really well done. So it looks like the helmet is spot on. Then I'm on board for that. That sounds cool because I remember playing it and it was just like in first person for a while. And it was just a reticle and this really choppy looking arm floating up and down in front of you.
Yeah. Do you remember Republic Commando?
Yeah, I do.
That was a cool little game.
I think I do. I might be.
It was basically. It was going for like a Halo sort of thing inside of Star Wars. You played as a Republic Commando, obviously, and
yeah,
it was pretty cool. It's a first person shooter.
Yeah,
I didn't play that much of it, but I remember liking because I didn't have an Xbox, and I don't know if it was on the PS2 or not, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, because I do remember playing Battlefront 2. I played it recently enough, like I'd say within the year, anyways. And I remember playing it with friends and just playing online because we actually did set up a PS2 in one room and then had it in the other room as well. So we had two PS2s going, and it was fun enough, but it wasn't enough to be like. I kind of just went, well, I'd like to see it done this well, but then have a lot more on top of it, because there's a lot of cool stuff in the game where you could do stuff like you could be the droids, you could be the Empire, you could be what you call those guys, Gungans.
I don't know.
Do you know the Jar Jar dude?
Yeah. Oh, is that what it? Okay, Jar. Yeah.
So you could just.
Wait, you could be those?
Yeah, you could.
I didn't remember.
It was on Naboo for Battlefront 2. If you were defending, you could be the.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It was just basically, this is before I ever played Battlefield. I was like, this is really cool. And then I played Battlefront Bad Company 2. Thought this is even better.
This is better, yeah.
And 3 was okay. It wasn't as good. It looked better, sure, but it wasn't as fun to play. So if they kind of make it look like 3, but have it play like Bad Company 2, then yeah, I'm on board. I wonder how it's going to work into hero stuff because that was in 2, and I remember.
I kind of hope they don't have it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I'd hope it's not there. I thought it was silly.
Yeah, because you were just playing the game and all of a sudden Darth Vader just comes screaming down.
And just ripping. Like he is... If you see Darth Vader, can they even die? I don't think...
I think they just had a...
I think they run away if they get too much... Or can they be damaged, though? I don't remember.
I think the damage was the time limit, so if they killed someone, they got a bit...
Oh,
okay. You're going to eventually run out.
Yeah, but... it was just... It ruined the flow. But yeah, the one thing I want out of any first-person multiplayer shooter, I should say, is that I'm tired of just shooting other dudes. Like, you can only do that so much and have it be different enough. I want the game around it to be cool. Like, one thing that the underdogs of multiplayer shooter, which is Splash Damage, who made Brink and Enemy Territory, that they do better than anybody else, is the game around the shooting is so much fun because there are objectives and everybody's got a role and it requires a lot of teamwork, and that just isn't the case in most shooters nowadays.
It's just like, everyone run to this one spot, plant a bomb, or everyone just kill everyone else. That's cool, where it's like everyone has their own minute roles. It's like, I'm an engineer, I have to set up here or something like that.
Well, yeah, and in the case of the Splash Damage games, you're an engineer, so you have to set up the command post, which will allow you to spawn closer, and when you spawn closer, you can advance on the enemy better, and you have to repair the tank to escort it to the barrier and blow up the barrier, and once the barrier is blown up, you run in and grab the gold, and the gold is important to the mission because you run back, and it's just all these layers and depth that just, it doesn't exist in shooters anymore. Now it's all about who's got the biggest penis, who's got the best kill to death ratio, who gets the highest kill streaks, and it's just bores the crap out of me. I want to feel like I'm a part of the battle rather than the battle, if that makes sense.
All right. So the next bit of news it's a bit of an interesting one because, I actually haven't seen much of this kind of news in a while. So you remember that game Dying Light?
Yes.
It's cancelling all last-gen versions, and it's only
Yes.
available on current-gen and PC now, which I think is bloody fantastic. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
say
fine
that
with
as
that.
a person who owns
As a person that has neither of the the things that it's going to be on.
because it helps them optimize the game for the next gen, well, current gen, I guess, the current gen consoles, because they're not going, well, we could take this and we can include this on the PS3. They kind of go, well, we should probably just leave it out then,
Yeah.
So now they can just really drive home like, oh, let's make it the best possible game we can, and they have this really good tech to work with instead of saying, what are we?
Yeah, we need this. We need games to be exclusive. Again, we not even exclusive to one system, but exclusive to generation, because you're just holding us back every time. The people that have something that can play good stuff, you're holding back the capabilities of that game. Like the Shadow of Mordor thing doesn't even have the Nemesis system in the old versions. What are you talking about? That is crazy. What is the point? You should just not even release that, because that's not at that point it's just a watered down Assassin's Creed. Well, maybe not watered down, but it's just an Assassin's Creed clone with Batman combat.
Mm-hmm.
And lost my train of thought. So you take over for a second.
So I'm just thinking it's interesting because I think more developers should do this kind of thing where it's like, they should just keep going and make current gen and PC games instead of focusing on let's do current gen PC and last gen, because it splits up the pie too much. Not everyone gets a decent slice. Everyone gets a small little whimper of it instead of having a big piece to themselves. But the thing I think is kind of ballsy is that so we're okay. I'm trying to think. I think we're coming up to it anyway, or maybe we've passed it. But we're in a year of the current gen PS4.
Yeah, it's next month marks. Yeah, next month marks the year.
Yeah, and there are
a couple weeks.
We're just going gung ho for these new machines, and I think that's good because it helps kind of start the whole the migration away from last gen, where it's like the PS3 still has a few games coming out. I know next year one of the big games I know is coming out is Persona 5.
Which but that's coming on both.
Yeah, actually, it's coming out on PS4 as well. Never mind, forget that. But I'm just saying, I'm happy that games are starting to edge away from it a bit, where it's like, sure, you have one game like you've Rogue, Assassin's Creed Rogue coming to last gen, but the one everyone is looking forward to, the new leap, I guess, is Unity, which is is coming out only for current gen and PC. And I think Ubisoft are doing that a bit weird, where it's like, oh, just make two different games. Because then that's just stupid, But
yeah, I get the want to put a version out on the old consoles, because there are millions and millions of those out there where they want people to buy.
Yeah,
there are more people with those old consoles than there are people with the new consoles. It's just a fact of life. Yeah. And the more
pretty expensive,
Yeah, but at the same time, stop. People will, if they want it bad enough, they'll buy the new consoles for the new stuff. Yeah. And I'll tell you, those old consoles, people that have them are bumming because the new ones are expensive. But if you asked 90% of them what kind of phone they had and they said iPhone 6, if you then asked them what phone did they have previously and they said iPhone 5S, you know what I mean? Like they're out there buying a new $600 phone every year. They can afford a freaking console. Yeah. If they want to bad enough.
I guess
so.
Brings in people, it's like, oh, you kind of have to pick and choose what you want. You can't have everything on your plate.
And the phone isn't even a big generational leap. The stuff that's on the 5S will play on the 6 and vice versa. So just let's cut. And another thing is just that those systems lasted. This past generation, not the current one, has lasted just so freaking long. It was so long. It's almost 10 years. And it's still going, so technically it will be 10 years by the time it's done.
Yeah.
That's just a long time.
I found people's reactions to it a bit weird, because people were kind of, they were happy about it. Most people were happy about it because they're like, yeah, I agree. It should be like a next gen or current gen game. I keep saying next gen. I'm stuck in the past, people. It should be a current gen PC game. and the last gen should be cancelled because it's just it might hold it back or something. You know, it's not allowing it to be all it can be if it has to carry the excess weight behind it, which is the last gen. However, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so I was just saying, one guy's comment here, just like he said it's all about the money. He said like people are just focusing on the PS4 because it's going to sell more, and PC because they want to make it like they're in deals and stuff to make people buy PS4s. It's like, come on, buddy, no one is running out to buy a PlayStation 4 so they can play this game. Unless they're really into zombies, and even then, it's only like a small.
I mean, there will be a handful of people that, because I actually had a roommate that was so into zombies that he bought anything with zombies in it. So he actually pre-ordered Dead Island before anyone knew that Dead Island was going to be anything decent. Because actually, Dead Island looked like it was going to be crappy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, no, there's zombies in it. I must play. But yeah, these systems, these systems are old, people. If you want to play the new stuff, it's time to upgrade. I'm sorry. It is. There's stuff, if you want to stick with the old system, there's plenty of stuff to play on it. But if you want to get to the new stuff, you have to invest. It's just the way, like, that's the way life works. Stuff's going to get better. You're going to have to upgrade. And technology shouldn't be held back just because people don't want to buy. But I mean, it really is that it's not even the people's fault that don't want to upgrade. It's the publishers that are like, no, we need both versions so we can sell as many as possible. If they just stuck to their guns, again, but for the first time, I am not a businessman. I'm not a marketing guy or a whatever financial for the game. I don't work for a game company, so I don't know how this actually works. But if stuff stops coming out on those old systems, people are going to start buying the new systems. It just makes sense to me, right? I mean, Batman's only coming. You think about the games that are only coming to the new stuff, and they look like this is the kind of stuff that we need. This is the generational graphical leap that we need. And we got Bloodborne and The Order and Batman and Dying Light, and you look at the graphics of these games, you're like, yes, this is what we need. And I would say Alien, but I think there's a last gen version of that. Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah,
which I don't know. I haven't played it, and I won't. So.
Yeah, I was trying to think. There's like a lot of games could you kind of just go, we'll just do both. And I'm at the stage now where I'm kind of done with my PS3, where it's like I've kind of played everything I want to play. And
yeah,
I'm still keeping it, obviously. Just leave it there in case something comes out. It's like, oh man, I don't have to.
I miss backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
I really do.
But it was probably, losing thousands, millions, even billions.
Yeah,
possibly. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
no, probably not billions.
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably not billions, but
just a weird thing.
It was so convenient. I could just play anything I want on this thing.
It was beautiful time, simpler time.
I might actually pay a little more for if that was an option. If there was a PS4 out there that could play every PlayStation game known to man, and let's just say I'll even go crazy and say it was $200 more, I might do it.
I mean,
you could play everything. You could play PS2, PS1, PS3. I'll never have to I'm gonna throw this other crap away because it just plays everything.
Oh well. See, that's the thing. It's like I hate with the way some consoles kind of just keep looking forward. Like, don't look back. Just keep going. Forget about all those games. They're kind of the legacy. It's like, no, they're not legacies. You can pick this up and still play it today, and you shouldn't forget about it because it's not like a book that's really old and you can never find it. It's lost to the ages. It's a game. You can still pick it up and play it. So I think, maybe some consoles. I know Wii U does it, right? You can play Wii games on it.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure you can play GameCube, right?
No, not on Wii U. On Wii U can.
I can understand that because that is a huge leap, but yeah, maybe that's it as well.
And also,
I don't know.
GameCube wasn't a smashing success either, so there are very few people that have a Wii U, at least in their mind, that are going to be like, Not to mention, GameCube, again, was not a smashing success, so you could probably find a GameCube out there for pretty cheap if you wanted to. Or everyone has a Wii, You probably find a Wii for really cheap if you don't somehow have one. A lot of people do. So.
Yeah, like I noticed that like a lot of people have Wiis that have no business having Wiis. Like, why do you have a Wii?
Wii was a monstrous success. I don't like. That's why everyone thinks that Nintendo is doom and gloom because Wii U's not doing so well. Let me direct you back to 10 years ago. Not 10 years ago, but 8 years ago, when the Wii was just ball-bustingly successful and just flying off you couldn't even find one because they were selling so crazy.
Everywhere.
And it's just, they have unlimited money for a really long time. Like, it's there until, Nintendo's gonna be okay, guys. They've got a lot of money. Trust me. They'll be alright.
Anyways, next bit of news is, now that I'm kind of looking at it, I'm like, that's not as important.
What is it?
Okay, so there's one.
Just mention it.
There's another one. It's from Telltale's Twitter. They said the Game of Thrones game is confirmed to come out in 2014. So they said, well, guys, it's definitely 100% coming out in 2014.
Well, I better hurry up and read that book then.
Yeah. So
I better catch up.
It says the season is premiering later this year. So
did they say what? Are there any details about this thing?
I'm not sure. I don't really.
It is the TV show license, not the book license, right?
I think it is.
Are we going to see? Are we going to see Tyrion and stuff?
Let me see if I can. No,
Jamie?
I'm not too sure. But it's.
You gonna see your man Joffrey?
Yeah.
Fun fact that Nathan has met the actor that has played Joffrey. That's why I brought that up.
I didn't know he was the actor because I didn't watch.
Yeah, but he didn't know. Yes.
So I knew.
He was like, aren't you that guy from? And he's like, oh, here comes the Game of Thrones. And then what?
I can't remember what I said, but
yeah.
really like niche. Whereas this, like,
super obscure.
Like 10 people probably recognize him from this thing, and I was like, "Hey, aren't you that guy?" And he's like, "Oh."
It's probably refreshing to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're my legacy."
Legacy. It was like a really shitty show, for like Irish show. So
that's funny.
Anyways, I'm actually excited for this because like
I'm excited about it too, but I'm nervous because I really, really have to catch up.
Yeah.
I'm so far behind.
But the thing is, like, I think it could be okay because, right, if like just think about The Walking Dead. If you didn't read the comic.
Well, that's why I want to know. Does it take place in the TV show universe? If so, are we going to interact with those people, or is there going to be a separate story?
It could be a separate story, but with those characters before any of the events happened.
Well, if that happens, fine, cool. Then I don't have to catch up. Yeah. But I need to catch up anyway. It's gonna happen. I have to.
Yeah. Anyways,
I've gone this. I don't know how I've gone this long without avoiding or without getting the spoilers.
I still need to watch the show. I watched the first episode, and then
it's quite good.
It was a good episode, yeah, but it was so long, and I was like, I could really be doing something else. That's Me and Ryan had that weird conversation.
Yeah, we had that conversation about how it feels like work sitting down to watch an hour-long TV show.
That has to be the
it's just the laziest thing that we've ever said.
Laziest thing.
First world problems, right there.
Problems, fat gamer issue, where it's just like, I have to sit down for a whole hour to watch.
For an hour, and I can't play it. You telling me I have to, and it plays that. Yeah, that's my big thing is that I'm not interacting with this. Is that? Oh my god, it's real bad. But but it's true. I can't help feel. We can acknowledge the fact that it's super stupid, but I can't help feeling that way. Sitting down, it just takes up a lot of time that I don't really have.
See, for me, it's a bit like a commitment thing. Where it's like, well, I gotta commit to it,
What's that?
Per day,
I mean, you could pause it, but then you're just doing it a disservice. It's meant to be viewed in one sitting.
Losing your interest, then. So
yeah, then you sit and then you forget. Like, I gotta start this episode over because I don't remember what was going on.
That's part of
Game of Thrones, especially. You can't miss anything.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I canceled my Netflix subscription, because I was like, whenever I watched it, because I was always spending time looking at a movie for a movie, and when I eventually watched it, it was just like, oh well, it's 11 o'clock, and I have to get up for college tomorrow, so I don't think I'm going to watch this 2-hour-long movie and then just leave it. And then the next day I'll be like, nah, I don't really want to watch that anymore. And then this horrible process starts over and over again.
Yeah, I've been in the mood to watch The Departed because I've never seen it. And I heard it's really, really good. And when I saw how long it was, I'm like, oh. I could watch it. There's nothing stopping me, but it's such a huge 2.5 hours that movie is. That's a long time.
But the other day I saw this thing, local cinema was advertising. They were doing a Lord of the Rings marathon. I was like, oh my god, that sounds...
Oh my god, I can't even imagine that.
Like, I am the worst person alive. Like, I will go see something I've already seen for what? How long? 8 hours, maybe?
It's like, yeah, oh, it's got to be more than that. It has to be longer than that.
I don't know. They're showing the theater.
It's got to be close to 9.
Maybe. It's a long-ass movie.
Those are 3-hour plus movies, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty long.
The Two Towers, I feel like I aged during that movie.
Gandalf the White. I want to say it's 9 hours, yeah. It's a long movie, but then I'm like...
Then you see the Harry Potter ones, but then there's me being like, I might sit through a Harry Potter marathon.
Yeah, but the thing is...
Because I like those movies. I know for a fact that I like those movies.
Yeah, but the thing is...
So...
We've already seen it, so it's not like 60 minutes of like pure 100% attention. It's like...
Yeah, we can... Our attention can be divided.
70% where you're like, oh, this is the bit I like, and then, you know.
I find that the best way to watch something for me is when I'm eating. Because then eating doesn't take a lot of attention, and I don't do any, you can't really be active while you're eating.
Yeah.
So you can do a passive activity like watching something. Yeah. And in fact, but the bad thing about that is now every time I watch something, I get hungry. So I have to eat something. or when I eat, I have to watch something. If I'm eating and there's nothing engaging my mind, I feel lost. I can't bite into the sandwich until there's something on my screen.
That was me with Breaking Bad. Like every time he went to the chicken place, I was like, oh, I'm hungry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they did always like have close up shots of them eating chicken and stuff.
Oh, I need some KFC right now.
Yeah. Anyways, so
Los Pollos Hermanos
coming out. There's
wildly off topic. Anything else?
Keep it track, I guess. What else is coming out? Valkyria Chronicles coming to PC, which is...
Yeah, so that sucks, because I just recently bought that game.
No way. This happened before with... I think I said, I think the Metal Gear collection will come to PC, and you just got so mad because you said, I played this on PS3.
Yes, it's the same... no, when I bought the Metal Gear collection, I know that, well, for now.
Well, just let everyone know.
But I bought the Metal Gear collection at the same time I bought Valkyria Chronicles. Yeah. So it's over the summer I'm like, because I recently got access to a PS3, so I'm going to play these games that I haven't been able to play. So I got Valkyria Chronicles, I played through the Metal Gear stuff, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a break. Now that I could potentially go back to Valkyria Chronicles, now it's on PC. Now I don't want to play it on PS3. Now this PS3 version that I have is useless.
I think Adam would really dig Valkyria Chronicles, if he hasn't played before, obviously.
Yeah, I played a little bit. I will say I did play a little bit of it. It's the story is super corny. I don't like the story at all, but the gameplay of it is actually really interesting. It's this hybrid shooter, but turn-based strategy thing like XCOM. It's actually pretty cool.
So yeah, you can pick it up on PC.
What's the date?
Oh, let me see. No date yet. It just says more info coming soon.
Oh, so maybe.
Hopefully.
No. I mean, I don't care. I'll wait. It's now that I know it's coming to be. I'm gonna sell that sucker. Yeah. There's no point in holding on to that.
What else? There's like 2 more bits of news, and then one super cool little rumor I heard, which
Oh, the showstopper, the main event.
Stop the clocks, stop the press, whatever.
From out of nowhere.
Yeah. So the other bit of news was the GTA San Andreas came out in HD remake for the 360, which is that's cool. It's only 4.
When you say from out of nowhere,
that wasn't
that. It just kind of feels like it's from out of nowhere. Holy crap! Not that I care, but
yeah, it's if you haven't played GTA San Andreas, shame.
It's a good game.
You can play it now, and it's only $4, which is ridiculous. That is a lot of that's value for money right there.
Well, granted, you might, if you have a PC capable of running it, you might want to wait because it gets cheaper on there.
Yeah, I would 100% recommend, if you can play it on PC, play it on PC, because this game is, we said before, some games don't age very well. This game does not age well.
The controls especially are god-awful, and I will say it's actually improved with mouse and keyboard. Because then you can aim with the mouse, and it's a lot better. They're still not great, but it's definitely way better than the crappy aiming system they had in the console version.
Yeah, the thing is, we've been spoiled spoil people by how good Rockstar games look on like GTA 4 and GTA 5. Even on consoles, like they look really good. But when you the leap is just so intense where it just looks bad. There's so much.
I mean, those games didn't look that amazing before because they were huge cities that the graphics had to suffer because of it. So,
but graphics aren't everything. It is a really
they're not, and the story is actually pretty good. The story in GTA games is usually good at the very least. So, yeah, they have their issues and whatever, but it's interesting. And I'm not way into the hood sort of stuff, but you and I found that entertaining.
Yeah, it was like something different.
It's not my favorite, but
I really like when the game opens up like about halfway through.
So
and then it gets crazy.
Without spoilers, I won't say specifically, but very early on they allow you to take over parts of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then the big twist happens near the middle, and then it resets all of that.
Yeah.
As soon as I had access to taking over parts of the neighborhood, I did all of it.
Right.
And then it all got reset. So
I guess twist was more impactful then.
Except for the part where I stopped playing it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was so angry.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
They shouldn't. That's just bad design.
Hmm.
They encourage you to do the side activity, but then it's all taken away from you once it gets to a certain point in the story. That sucks.
So yeah, San Andreas for $4. It's really good.
Don't do the turf war stuff until there's a shift in the plot.
Or just don't do it at all because
or just don't do it because it's kind of dumb anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. You can just run around tagging people.
I just did it because it was annoying. I was just doing it because it was annoying getting attacked by the rival gangs. Super annoying.
Game ballers. Anyways, the last bit of I've got beef, man. I've got beef. These old wounds don't heal so well. The next bit of news is quite a cool bit of news. So PS4 is introducing SharePlay, which I am absolutely really excited for because this was something big that when they revealed the PS4, they said this is going to be something kind of new and it's going to change the game a bit. And I definitely agree to an extent that this is something kind of revolutionary where, so what it is, if you don't understand.
Yeah, I was going to say, explain it.
SharePlay is this feature where, right, so I've got a PS4, my friend Jim, I don't have a friend called Jim, he has a PS4, and I started up SharePlay, so what SharePlay can allow Jim to do is he can take over the game for me, so what is on my screen is now on his screen, and we can both watch while Jim controls it, which I think is really cool, because the thing was, the PlayStation guys were like, if you're stuck on a level, you can get your friend to do it for you, if he's in another part of the room, another country, whatever. Just if he's away from you, he can control the game, and I think that's really cool. Another thing you can do is you can allow someone to play the game with you, alongside you, like a multiplayer game, co-op game, and you can play with them for 60 minutes. Now, the thing is, these
60 total minutes.
Yes, yeah. So
you can't just expire and then be like, come back tomorrow and you get another 60 minutes.
No, here's the cool thing. The sessions are actually only an hour long. Yeah, that's a bit of a, it is free games when you think about it. So what can you do? But the second the session is over, you can just start one up straight away. So
that's weird.
Yeah. But the thing is...
But whatever, I guess it's cool. But it's just weird that...
It's kind of like, okay, so like, just say I'm playing a game. I'm playing Infamous Second Son. And I get up and just leave. But I have SharePlay going on, so Jim is playing it. After 60 minutes, the game will stop and I'd have to redo the session. I don't know whether that completely resets progress or whatever, in terms of, like, to say we're playing a multiplayer game and SharePlay thing comes up, it's like you have to reset because the time is out. I don't know whether that means he's booted or it's like a pause. I don't know. But it's to stop him from playing the whole game while I'm out of room, which is effective enough kind of countermeasure to letting people have free games, But I enjoy it because, like, when I think about, like, okay, so what am I playing? If I'm playing Black Ops 2 and I want my friend to play as well, he doesn't have the game, but he has a PS4. I just, play, get SharePlay going. He plays a match with me, and then, I get to show him the game, and he gets to play with me, and you have this kind of it's a very cool way to kind of allow more people to play with you.
Yeah. Wait. So this is it? You does this require Plus?
Yeah, because you have to play online, I think. So yeah,
okay.
It's an online feature, so you need.
Still, it's another benefit to getting PlayStation Plus, and I'm all for it. There's nothing. There's no harm for this. It's not like we're charging $1,000 for this.
It's very cool.
It's just another benefit, and I really like this. Not that I care because I don't have either one of these systems, but I love this war that's going on. That they're just trying to up each other's ante. It's great, and at the Xbox One, which is only, I think this is only happening in the States, but the price drop that's happening this holiday, it's crazy.
No,
they're cutting $50 off and bundling it with a game.
Oh.
They're like, screw you, Sony. I don't know. I love it because we haven't had a console war like this in quite some time. So, and that competition only benefits the consumer.
Yeah.
What's the rumor?
Okay, just jump straight into it.
I must know.
Okay, so see if I can remember the rumors. I had it here, and then I had to restart the PC. Okay, so the rumor is that so do you remember the VGX awards?
Yes.
So
Joe McHale.
Yeah, Joe McHale, all that good stuff. So apparently there is a strong rumor going around that Fallout 4 will be at VGX. Now, I'm the first person to go, that's kind of, bullshit. But I read...
And I'm apparently the second, because that's the first thing I thought when you said it.
The first thing I saw was that it was Jeff Keighley, so, good old Jeff. He was tweeting, and he tweeted saying he was working... So he said, great. It's a picture of him with 3 other lovely ladies. And he's saying, great night planning with the ladies who run Bethesda. You are missed at DC Deacon. Now, DC Deacon is, if I can remember correctly his name, I'm just opening up his Twitter page here, is Pete Hines. Okay, so Pete Hines was the PR guy for Bethesda. And he worked exclusively promoting, he's promoting The Evil Within because that's the new game of the moment. But he also worked on promoting Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. So this kind of made me think, he's not really saying much here. He's not saying whether it's Fallout or it could be the new Doom, which I actually think is more likely. But it is something... Are you not excited for the new Doom?
I want to know what it is, but
yes.
No. Not the... When I hear Doom, I don't immediately get excited anymore.
But... the reason that I kind of, a lot of people are jumping on the board that it is the new Fallout reveal, even a trailer, which I would be happy to see, because it's been a while, guys, come on. But Bethesda has revealed stuff at VGX, back when it was called VGAs, they revealed Skyrim there in December 2010, and it is kind of, there's a lot of things pointing in the right direction, where it's this could be a credible rumor, but, we'll see how that turns out. I've wanted itching for some Fallout news because
I need it.
Age, a lot of. Just think about the last time the Fallout New Vegas was released, and think about all the stuff that's happened between then and now.
Especially with all the lessons they learned. Skyrim is a better one of those, but it's Skyrim, and I don't want Skyrim. I want Fallout.
I don't want Elder Scrolls Online because I do not want to play.
Well, that's neither. Let's not. We don't talk. That doesn't count. It doesn't.
It does.
It's not even made by them.
No, but
and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not what I wanted, but it was not.
It was just. It was so not what I wanted that I was just like, oh, I don't care about that at all, and hope it's terrible. But
wait, you could play that game if it didn't have a monthly fee, which I suspect it won't for very much longer. It might be a cool little single-player Elder Scrolls game to play.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, it's all about the Fallout for me, because, I'm a major, major Fallout fan. And, okay, let me actually check. I'm very bad at dates, so I want to check when New Vegas came out.
2009...
It came out
nope, 2010.
2010, October 19th, 2010. So, that's a long, long, long time. That's over 4 years at this stage.
Yes.
And, you know, they released...
And we haven't heard anything. Yeah. We haven't even heard anything.
Squat. I mean, there's that whole reveal, quote unquote, by Kotaku.
What reveal?
You know, Kotaku were like, "Well, we've got leaked documents."
Bullcrap.
Yeah, like there hasn't been a word on that since. Like, if it was leaked documents, surely more would come out on it.
Well, not to mention, if something's leaked, doesn't more often than not, the company comes out and be like, "Yeah, that's true," or "No, it's not," and they just didn't even acknowledge it. So
that happened this week with Marvel. They were like, you know, they had the new Avengers trailer. They were going to release it at some time.
Got leaked.
Yeah, it got leaked, and then they said, "Oh, F it, here you go. Here's the full thing in HD." And then everyone...
I mean, it happened. It happened with Battlefield Hardline. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So,
but
I should have more examples, but it happens all the time. Here's one other example. I do recall it happening. Even this year, I remember it happening more often. I remember Far Cry 4, I think. No, that was an official reveal. All I know is that it happens. Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer was leaked beforehand.
Yeah, and then...
Or was that just the Japanese trailer?
I think...
Regardless, things leak, and then they're confirmed or denied.
So...
More often than not confirmed, because the leak is usually accurate.
I prefer...
Bloodborne. Bloodborne was another one. That was actually leaked.
I prefer when they nip it in the bud. It's just like, it is real or it isn't real. Just get it out. Come on.
Yeah, just get it out there. Like, people are talking about it. You might as well use it.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, that's a weird thing. There's like, okay, so there's like a whole level of secrecy with this media of games than they're compared to any other, like, compared to movies, compared to albums. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just this whole level of secrecy and like, oh no, we can't tell you that. And,
I mean, think about the Star Wars movies. We know those movies are coming, and we've known ever since people started talking about it.
Leaked. Like, think of all the stuff that's been leaked. We have pictures of, like, the spaceships, you know, stuff like concept art was leaked. All of this stuff was leaked.
But is it leaked, or are they actually releasing it? Because
it was leaked.
It was leaked, yeah. But at the same time, they're not keeping the thing a secret, though. People, we know it exists. We know when it's coming. Mm-hmm. It's this weird thing about the game industry specifically that we're just... Jim Sterling did a good video. I don't even like Jim Sterling that much, but he did a good video on this topic. And it's just ridiculous, because why do we care so much when something's a secret? When a surprise isn't even necessarily that beneficial? When someone knows about something, their anticipation is gonna build up. They're gonna want it even more. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you want people to know about it?
I mean,
it's weird.
Yeah, it's just, you know, video games are weird. That's the takeaway.
I mean, yes, video games are not where they need to be yet. We're not in this world where they're accepted, because, I mean, they can't be, because they're treated so differently. Video games themselves, the industry itself treats itself so differently from the other mediums. Until it is not treated that way, we can't take it as seriously as the other ones. It's not mature enough. Right now, it's still, the stereotype is kind of true. It's still for the nerd or the Call of Duty jock or, you know, people like that. And until we get past that, yeah. Or kids is another one.
Yeah.
It's a toy.
It's like, oh, it's just a game. It's a toy, you know, what difference is that to Monopoly? Like, you know, like.
But yeah, to bring it,
you know,
to bring it back around, I want a new Fallout. I want a new Fallout.
But okay, now the problem I have is like, they're definitely at a standoff point. Now I have no idea what the next Fallout is going to be at all. I don't even know if this rumor is true at all.
4.
But yeah, so that's the thing that it's Fallout 4 and it's not Fallout name. So like I much prefer New Vegas to 3. Like I really like 3.
I do too.
I loved 3 when it came out, but then when New Vegas came out, I was like, it's better. I still prefer 3, but then the thing is, I kept coming back to New Vegas. You know?
New Vegas is glitchier, but it was a better. Well, it was written better for one,
and it had a lot of cool, like the whole the faction stuff. That was very cool.
Yeah,
interesting way for an RPG to kind of play with
And the Vegas is a more interesting setting to me
Yeah.
than Washington,
Cool.
D.C. is.
Apparently a lot of stuff was cut out from that game, and I am not surprised. But I'm just
Vegas or
New Vegas. Yeah, a lot of stuff was cut out from it, and
Hmm.
but so yeah, it's Fallout 4. But does that mean they're going to go back to kind of
no?
I'm not saying they're going to go back to Washington D.C., but are they going to do something like it's going to be like the same kind of like what am I trying to say here?
I don't know.
I don't want it to be totally post-apocalyptic like 3 was, but I don't want it to be like New Vegas was, where it was kind of rebuilding.
So you want?
I want something new, completely new, but it's.
Well, I don't know if you're going to get that.
I'm saying it's kind of hard.
I mean, Fallout is the name already. The franchise is about post-apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, without that, it's not Fallout. You might as well call it something else. I mean, can you give me an example of what scenario you'd want?
Okay, well, first up, I wouldn't want them to do a story where you were the Vault Dweller, because, New Vegas.
You weren't in New Vegas.
Well, New Vegas it was a bit stupid about it. They said you were a courier, but they meant that for like story reasons. But then you were just given a vault suit, so it's kind of like, and then you're given a Pip-Boy as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you want one without a Pip-Boy?
But I kind of want. Okay, it's gonna sound weird, but I kind of want like a sort of game where you can kind of. I want something I want an RPG, but I want something new. Like I wouldn't mind doing something with like you have several characters, if you know what I mean. Maybe I'm kind of thinking more like a Wasteland kind of game.
I hope the shooting is better.
Yeah, but like I said, I kind of want more characters because
like a top-down, or do you just want a party?
They kind of did split it into like we've got this.
That's not. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to happen.
It would be cool. You've got Wasteland 2.
I don't know.
Well, so.
I'm okay with where Fallout is. Another one of those. I'm fine with that. I don't need it to be that much different. Just give me a new interesting story in that thing. Give me some good side missions, which I feel like Fallout does better than most games with side missions.
Really kind of knocks it out of the park with the side missions. Like I remember I think one quest was the Oasis quest in Fallout 3 with the Harold the tree. That was a big quest. Like that was its own little story in itself. And
I mean, all of them are. I feel like that's the best.
Yeah, they give it the right treatment.
They're all little contained stories, and I feel like that's the best kind of side quest. It's not the main plot, and it's optional, but if you want more interesting stories in this world, go find them. They're out there.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the best stuff to me. I don't like I'll collect all this stuff. That's bullcrap. I want, but then it's a lot harder to do, but it's way more interesting to me.
I don't know. I'm interested for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you'll play it. Regardless of what it is, you're gonna play it.
But it's all about like what direction it's kind of going for. Where it's like, is it going to go back to Fallout 4, where it was very by the books?
You mean 3?
Sorry, 3. Yeah, it goes back to 3. It was very by the books. As in, what I mean by the books is very kind of like actiony. It wanted to do its own thing. And I remember people saying with New Vegas, it was very much reverent to like Fallout 1, Fallout 2. And I'm just interested to see, is it going to go back to like where 3 was kind of like, it changed the lore a bit. I remember someone saying that. It was like, the lore and this is all weird. It's different. And because even the tone in the games is very different. But it's in very small ways. Like for Fallout 3, the tone is always dark. It's very grim. But in New Vegas, there's lots of like little comedic moments and funny moments, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm just interested, like, what's the storytelling going to be like? What's the storytelling style going to be like? Is it going to be serious as hell? Or is it going to be kind of like, you know, jokey or have fun moments?
Obsidian it produces better stories than Bethesda. It's just the way it is.
That's it. Is it going to be an Obsidian game or a Bethesda game?
It's going to be a Bethesda game. But I mean, it's not that Fallout 3's story is bad. It's just that New Vegas is better. It's got a better balance. It has the dark stuff, but it's also, you know, interwoven throughout is the comedy, and the best stories have a mixture of both. A good story, like I said, the best of the stories have a mixture of everything because it's able to change tones like that and not feel cheap or ruin the message that they're trying to get across. All the good stories can include comedy without being like, oh, well, that feels out of place. And it doesn't in New Vegas. And I don't think Bethesda will be able to pull it off. So they're just going to stick with, not to mention, I feel like Bethesda just really is kind of they remind me of Bungie in a way, in that they're so into their own lore. You know what I mean? Like, Bungie they're so dead serious with their lore that they've created. Like, this is the greatest science fiction story ever told. No, it's not. So, yeah, we're both interested.
It'll be fun. I mean,
yeah.
Will it? I don't know. Like, I want good side quests. Basically, if the main story is poop or it's not engaging as I want, like 3 was okay. It did cool moments, but then it kind of went off the deep end a bit, where it's like this is getting really bad as I go on. Like the bit with the.
I mean, you can't.
That was really cool.
Not everything can be great.
That's the thing.
Well, 3 had the simulation. Was that
the one where you go to the pleasant?
I'm a sucker for those kinds of quests.
Yeah,
I love those kind of.
My favorite quest, like I've played in so long. Where so I can't remember the name of it exactly, but you go to this like little town. You're the little boy or girl, and it's kind of like Pleasantville, where it's like everyone's really happy in the 50s and all that really cheesy stuff, which I love, by the way, because I think that's so what's the word, kitsch, and just so iconic. Because like when you think of America back then, that's what you think of, and they just made it perfectly, and then they bled in this real world sense of, okay, now you're going to fuck with the place. It's like, you can really shake things up. And I loved it. And I want those kind of quests. Stuff that like you don't expect and it just goes, wow, that was amazing, you know?
I'm a sucker for alternate reality or dream sequence or simulation stuff. I love that kind of stuff. Not even just in games, but I'm thinking of 2 episodes of Batman the Animated Series where that happens. The one I told you about.
Great. Very good.
Which is great. And also the one with the Riddler where Batman goes inside a video game and he's in the outside world and his body's in the outside world. And I'm just a sucker. I love that stuff.
Always fun to play with characters, I guess.
Yeah. All right. We've been going for almost 2 hours, just the 2 of us.
God, who needs the other 2?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just keep going.
Yeah. We could do our normal wrap up, but I'm going to say we don't because we still have Lords of the Fallen to talk about next week. The reviews are starting to come out. Not all of them are out yet as of this of recording. So I can't say definitively right now. L is closest, followed by me, really close behind, followed by you, which is nowhere near it.
Oh. I'm gonna give it 10 now and submit it to Metacritic.
So yeah, you're just gonna. I don't think that you can just do that. I don't think Metacritic will just, unless we go by user score.
Maybe.
In which case, I think we all lose.
Strings. Don't worry.
Okay. You know somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for the Nathan and Randy show, or Randy and Nathan show, whatever I called it the first time. And it's also going to do it for the Unidentified podcast, episode 8. We will be back next week, hopefully with some more cast. I might not be at that one, actually.
No, he will.
Which I probably will be. But if not, then I love you all. I love you too, Randy. I'm going to miss you so much. That's going to be
See you guys.
Goodbye.